Hello, and welcome to your tutorial on the King's US High School Completion Program online learning portal. As a student enrolled in the program, you will take courses through an online learning management system that is similar to using an app. If you have a smartphone, tablet, or laptop, you've no doubt downloaded many apps that allow you to play games, chat with friends, and explore your world through a digital door. Unlike traditional online learning programs, where students often just watch videos of a recorded classroom lecture, the King's US High School Completion Program guides you through a series of assignments where you react to and interact with the learning content. All of the lessons are accessed through the online portal, and for each course you take, you learn new information, practice using and applying it, and even test out your knowledge and understanding. Furthermore, for students who have opted to enroll in a group learning program, you will have a real-time, live, and often in-person learning experience with qualified teachers who instruct you personally on course subjects and supplement your learning program with a wide range of applied enrichment activities. As you advance through each assignment, lesson, exam, and subject course, you'll be able to see and measure your results. You can think of it like earning points towards the next level of a game. Best of all, as you progress through the King's US High School Completion Program, you'll be earning academic credit towards a nationally and internationally recognized and accredited US High School Diploma. Upon finishing the program, your academic journey is just beginning, as you've now earned the keys to enter King's Premium University with a conditional letter of acceptance to a top 50 to 100 ranked US university. Doesn't that sound exciting? So now let's take a closer look at the US High School Completion Program portal. So this is the Earth Science course credit homepage. And as a student, this might be one of the required courses that you need to take through the King's US High School Completion Program. But for the purposes of this video, this is just to give you a brief look into the layout and then the structure of the course so you know what to anticipate. So as a student, you would get to this homepage and there will be a brief description of the course along with a video that you can watch for more detail. There's also information about the course objectives, which are tied to the learning deliverables. And then there is a quick link to begin lesson 1. Below that, there is a syllabus overview that talks about the structure of the course. And then each lesson, there are details about the content and the assignments. On the left-hand side of the screen, you are able to navigate your way through the different lessons of the subject. However, it is recommended that you go in a linear order, as lesson 2 depends on information that you have understood and been able to show comprehension of in lesson 1. So as you can imagine, just by looking at the screen, that this is not your typical traditional version of an online course where students would simply watch a video of a recorded classroom lecture. Rather, this is more like an app that maybe you would download to your phone or your tablet. For example, if you've ever looked at learning a language through a language app like Duolingo, that is actually more of a gamification of a learning process where you are taken through a series of exercises or lessons or challenges and tasks in order to level up. This is not very different than that, except it's applied to different academic subjects, which are all aimed at the goal of earning a US High School Diploma. So we're going to just begin with lesson 1. We'll just click on it right here. And lesson 1, there are actually 6 lessons. So again, we can see the summary of the different lessons on the right-hand side. And there's an overview which tells us about the lessons. And then there's a button that says begin section 1.1. So within each of the lessons, there are subsections. And in lesson 1, there happens to be 5 different subsections before you get to the lesson 1 review. So if we just click on begin section 1.1, we can start the challenges or the tasks. So within section 1.1, we have a series of 4 assignments or tasks in front of us before we're able to progress to the next step. As you can see, we've got some different icons in front of us. The first one is what looks like a book, and so that would be a reading assignment. The second one is actually like a quote or a pencil, and so that would be some kind of exercise. The third is a pile of flashcards, so probably having to do with vocabulary and definitions and terminology. And the last one, again, is a reading. So we just have 4 assignments in this first subsection of lesson 1.1. So to begin the subsection 1.1, we have to click on the first assignment. So the first assignment is a reading assignment. In general, the reading assignments are lengthy because there's a lot of information that needs to be conveyed to you, the student. So it's recommended that you use either the online tool of note taking, which is just this pop up box in the right hand corner. But I would also recommend that you have actual pen to paper notes that you can write in order to do a very easy review process before you take any kind of assessment. So the reading assignment, the way to get through it is basically the same way you would scroll if you were reading a website. And as you can now see, it's going to be a lengthy reading. So we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. And as you would be doing this, I'm sure you'd be stopping and pausing and taking good notes, even drawing out different charts or diagrams that you are coming across, and making sure that you understand the bars and the graphs and the data that's being presented. So finally, we get to the end of the reading. And if you feel confident that you have achieved what you need to understand from the reading, you've taken good notes, then you can click on Go to the next assignment. This will bring you to the assignment, which is an exercise. And hopefully, because you did such a good job reading, you will be able to do these exercises. So this is a good assessment of your comprehension and recall skills. So the directions say match each step of the scientific method on the left with the statement it describes on the right. And so you would do that. And as a student, you would actually have a box right here with some instructions about how to actually enter in your answers. And you would actually do that, and it would become part of your formal homework assignment that you would submit. And that would lead up to eventually taking the lesson exam. You also have the ability to check your answers. And so this will make sure that you're on track and that you understand what the model answer should be or the correct answer. And then you can hide it. Another type of exercise that you might encounter as a student is fill in the blank. So in this particular one, you'd be required to fill in the particular word, phrase, term, or idea that is missing. And again, you would submit your answers according to the directions in the gray box below. And then you'd be able to check your answers by clicking on Show Answer. But overall, for students, there's not simply one type of exercise that you'll be asked to do. It could be fill in the blank. It could be answering questions that are directly posed to you. Might even be multiple choice. So as a student, you need to be prepared for different types of exercises, but that also adds a lot of variety to your learning experience. So then the third type of assignment that we'll take a look at are flashcards. Flashcards, again, are right here. As you can see, we have 13 of them to go through, so 13 different terms and definitions. Again, down at the right-hand side, there is a pop-up box to take notes. I would take notes of the definitions and terms that you don't know. And as you go through, you're first given the term, and then you should be able to write down or at least say out loud the definition, and then check it just by clicking on the box. If your definition is not correct, then you should definitely not mark this one as mastered. And instead, you should continue going through the terms and then come back to it. The next term is geology. So let's imagine that you were able to recall what the definition of geology is, and you can mark it as mastered. So now you can see that out of 13 terms, we have 11 more to learn or to master, and 2 are under our belt. So that is a preview of the flashcards assignment. And then once you finish that, you can go to the last assignment, which is another reading. And this is basically a summary of the key points or ideas that you need to have solid in your understanding and learning, so you're able to take the lesson assessment and exam at the end of this particular unit. One of the type of assignments that's not available to view within the earth science subject would be a video assignment. So before we move on, I want to quickly show you what that would look like. A video assignment is simply a video which you would watch, and the video is basically focused on reviewing content that you have previously covered in assignments within the sub lesson. So if you've done a reading or a set of readings or exercises, the video is meant to review that content. It is not meant to replace it. And students must go through all of the lesson content in order to be well prepared for taking the lesson review. So again, this was just a brief overview of the course, but as you can see, it's interactive and it requires you to engage with the material and to recall what you've learned in order to be assessed on your capacity to get through the content and your mastery of the different terms and ideas. Before we finish, there are two more areas of the student portal that I'd like to show you so you as a student can track your progress and also see the results. Within here, I want to show you two areas. The first area is programming courses. The programming courses page will give you a summary of your overall completion of subjects that you are working on. So as you can see, they're currently working on the course credit subject of reading skills, and they have completed about 37% of that course. And then as a student, to continue working on it, they would simply click on the orange button, resume course. It also has information about upcoming lessons. So we can see that they've completed lesson 1, and then they have lesson 2 and lesson 3 coming up. And we can see the projected exam dates based on the current pace of learning. We can also see that down here, it says civics, next course available. So this is one of the courses that they can start or work on simultaneously as they're working on reading skills. And then below that, it says other active courses. This means that in addition to reading skills, they are also currently working on human relations. And then in addition to civics, we can see that they do have a number of other courses that they need to take: American history, world history, earth science, literature, written communication. And then the final category is completed courses. This is a list of the courses that the student has either completed through the King's US High School Completion Program, or that they have received transfer credit from their local high school curriculum in their home country. Going back up to the navigation, we click on grades. This is the second area that I would like to show you. Grades is a summary page. What will show the student their current cumulative GPA based on the lesson exams that they have completed, number of transfer credits, number of earned credits, and number of attempted credits. For this particular student, we're not going to show you the GPA because that's private information, but you could imagine they might have a GPA of, let's say, 3.7, something like that. Transfer credits, we can see that they received transfer credit worth 13 credits from their local high school curriculum from their home country that were transferred into the King's US High School Completion Program curriculum. That means that they've also got some other credits they need to work on. So far with the King's US High School Completion Program, they have earned 1.5 credits, and they have only attempted to do 1.5 credits. So they're on good track. They're just at the beginning of their learning experience, but they are on good track for their learning progress. We can see the courses that they have taken. Everyone takes orientation to high school. This is a mandatory course. It shows you how to navigate your way through the King's US High School Completion Program online learning management system, how to submit your written assignments, how to go through the process of taking the course. And then we can see that they have also taken human relations. And we can see that they're currently working on reading skills. The other courses that they need to take are civics. And then here, when we take a look at basic English, it says transfer credit. So they do not take this particular course through the King's US High School Completion Program. Rather, they have received transfer credit from their local high school curriculum in their home country. They've also received transfer credit for General Math 1 and Fitness and Nutrition, American history they will need to take with the King's US High School Completion Program. Practical English and consumer math, they've received transfer credit. For science, written communication, they need to take with the King's US High School Completion Program. Biology, general math, too, they've received transfer credit. World history, they will need to take. Physical science, they've received transfer credit. Literature, they will need to take. And they have received credit for their high school electives. Just a note, it looks like they had to take a lot of electives. In fact, they received credit for 5, but the way it's counted as a transfer credit is per lesson within each credit. So this is the area where a student can get an overall sense of their progress. I hope you enjoyed this brief tutorial. Now that you've gotten a taste of the portal, reach out to your King's representative to learn more about your personal path towards a US high school diploma and the route to a top US university degree.